Aeternus is impossible. Here's why. I didn't get the memo. I'm gonna verify it. Like, in order to answer these questions, we got 5 Aeternus world record holders to each do an in-depth analysis of a part, explain why it's hard and how it compares to the rest of the level. Wait, W. That's good content. We noticed there was a lot of misinformation floating around about the level and its difficulty. The purpose of this video is to both better educate the community about Aeternus and go far more in depth than other videos made on similar subjects. Wait, this is actually great because I don't know a lot about what makes Aeternus difficult. I've kind of just been memeing saying I'm going to verify it. So maybe by the time we're done with this video chat, I'll be able to make an informed decision whether I should go for this level or not. This video will also include a frame counter for the level with additional notes and a difficulty meter after the analysis. We also asked you guys for your questions about the level, which we'll be answering at the end. I'm going to be helping with the video. Blah, 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 blah. You're not memeing, you're verifying? No, I know, but I have to say that I'm memeing, otherwise people get pissed. Oh.
All right, here's Aeternus 22% analysis.
It's just clicking, right? I'm saying.
We're gonna go in. So the first click of this level is a 240 FPS frame perfect, which is one of the harder clicks of the level. Then there's this click, which you'll see the gap. It's not horrible. Now these orbs are very difficult because they're alignment based. So you need to click this orb very late. And now you can see the gap here that you have to hit. This gap is hard. And the reason you need to hit this so close, you'll either die here or you'll hit this orb so late that you'll just die in between here because this gap is very hard. It's very...
Should I just drop Bloodbath and start on Aeternus? I'm like, what are we doing at this point? I feel like I'm just dragging it. Maybe I'm crazy. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, bro.
Be tight on this. Like it even looks like I'm hitting this. So once you hit that, you have to hit... You can see it. You see it almost flash to the ground, which just shows how tight this click is. Now here you just do one.
No, you would actually want to die? Nah, I'd win.
There's a few different ways to do it. Some people go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. I go like 1, 2, 3, 4. And some people only use one hand. But this orb spam is not that hard. It's very consistent.
Isn't Bloodbath much harder than Aeternus anyways? In some ways.
You can do it most of the time. Now this gap is hard. You'll see the little flash of the show trajectory. And you kind of hold, and then this click is hard because you need to land. I'll do the click real quick so you can see. You got to land right on the corner of this so that you don't hit the saw or this. You got to do it. Some people do just 2 single clicks. I prefer doing a double click so I can kind of buffer it.
I know some of chat's memeing right now, chat, but there's just this stubborn part of my brain where it's just like, look, I know the level's hard, but at the end of the day, you just got to learn it. It's the same as any other level. You just got to learn it, bro.
That. This gap isn't too tricky. And now we get to the maze. And the maze.
Don't tell me the odds. I don't need to know them.
This is probably one of the easier parts of Aeternus. Now this click is hard. Click here, boom, boom, and then another click here. But these clicks need to be pretty much instant. Otherwise, you'll die up here. So there's a blue orb here, and that needs to be clicked not instantly, but pretty much instant. Now this click is hard. There's a few different ways you can do it. What I do is I kind of hold it. So if you time it right, you can hit it. And then
is anybody processing this right now? I don't know how much this is actually helping me discern Aeternus' difficulty right now. No hate.
Just hold and you'll be able to jump. Now we get to the drop.
This click's really hard. Also, this click's really hard.
You start off with this click. Especially at the start, this click used to be just super impossible.
Maybe I'm just not good at like looking at like frames and stuff and understanding.
Well, I've died here over.
Like this just kind of looks like colors.
400 times. But once you do that, you get to the ship. You just do one hold click.
It's hard? Oh. Wait, Aeternus is hard?
So surprisingly, this click is not that hard once you get it down.
That click's not that hard.
But then you get to this orb, which is really hard.
Why is this guy verifying it if it's impossible? We have again fallen into the YouTube clickbait, right? Aeternus is not impossible, but we need the... We're here now.
The thing with this is it's very setup. So even if I'm like a frame or 2 down where I haven't died, it still changes how you're supposed to do this transition, which is really hard. And that's because what you need to do, you need to hold here.
Ooh, that portal click can actually be a 1 frame if you mess up the yellow orb release. Yeah, I feel like maybe frame counters would be more helpful. Like on this part, it's like if we also had a frame counter for like, this is a really hard click, and then maybe the frame counter. I don't freaking know,
But you
bro.
don't die to any of these, which is, this click is probably the hardest part. But if you keep holding so that you don't die to any of these.
Not saying that a frame counter is the most. Yes, I know there's a frame counter later in the video. I'm saying that if the frame counter was in picture with what he's talking about, it would help give better context to like, this click's really hard. Ding! And it shows like what the freaking frame counter is for that click.
Spikes.
It's not like to replace the information that's being given. It's to be additive to the information given.
And you can get to this orb. So this click has always been...
Because for most of us watching, I would argue, I mean, some of you are LARPing right now, but for most of us watching, it's like simply saying, oh, this click's hard, like isn't enough. Like we need like something else to kind of give us some semblance of context.
The biggest struggle for me. And now we get to this straight fly. What makes this part hard is this gap right here, where you need to hit this orb right here, so you don't hit this, but that you also have enough time to set up the
that seems kind of tight.
Straight fly. So you see the straight fly is very, very difficult. This
Speed and Kai combined have 100K viewers right now. Hey, buddy, shh. Focus up.
part's just hard for obvious reasons of this is like a super tight straight fly. I see some people that have said that you're supposed to like spam on it, but in reality it's, you just do it in 2 clicks. Let's get to the wave. Especially on fast speed, this first click can catch you off guard because it's very quick out of the ship. So you're doing like 1, 2, 1.
That looks tough,
it's
bro.
It's an awkward click pattern.
Guys, Aeternus looks pretty hard.
Once you get past this, you get to this straight fly. And this straight fly caused me the biggest struggle when I tried to get to 20. It's weird because you need to do like a double click and you get very close to the spikes and it's just awkward. And once you do that, you have to hit this yellow orb here and you need to like hold for a little bit so that you can make it over. Because if I just click, if I don't hold, I can die here. So what I do is I almost just hold for a tiny second and then you have to do another click here. The second you hit this portal, you do another click so that you can almost do like a mini straight fly through here so you don't hit any of these. Now especially this orb is very based on however you did this part. You almost need to hold a little bit. So you hit the orb.
I feel like you just turn on no clip and it's free, no?
And then you hold. The same with this. So this second one is harder for me, honestly. See the gap. And now these 3 waves, wave clicks, I should say, aren't too bad actually. They you can see the gaps. The gaps look fairly open. It's very based on rhythm. So if you have the rhythm even a tiny bit off, because there's these side spikes, it makes it way harder. So this part,
that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm delusional, but there is a part of me where it's just like learning anything is just, I would argue any level of GD, there's like a rhythm to the muscle memory of it. And something in my brain is just like, it doesn't matter what the frame counters say. If I develop the rhythm, I would win.
I'll do the part first and then I'll explain.
Am I delusional? Maybe. But something in like my intuition is just like, I can do it.
This first click, you need to hit this yellow orb. And you need to hit it so that you don't die to this
Am I saying it would be easy? No, but I think it's possible.
spike or this saw. So I'll show you the gap. This is the gap where you don't die here. This is the furthest I've ever gotten from 0. I died to like this pixel at 20.01. So this is probably the hardest gap at 22. This click right here. I think it's also consistent to just do like a double click here. But
This straight fly does seem messed up, bro. Specifically here, this does look messed
I
up.
personally don't. I find it easier.
And now we're at 22 to 42, which is the second hardest section of this level in my opinion. We start off with this wave right here. So this wave is arguably the hardest part of the level. It could be the second hardest for some people. Like, it's a battle between this wave and the 50.
You can get the rhythm, but a 1 millisecond inconsistency in this level will kill you. Happens.
6 wave. And it's mostly just because of these 2 clicks. We get into this wave and this click is kind of free. It's not that bad. Most of these clicks aren't that bad. They're pretty easy to do, and then you get to this
But whenever you play GD, you have a chance of dying.
section.
So what's
which is
different?
completely horrible. This click right here is a 2-framer, and so is this click right here. And what makes it harder about this part, it's a kind of awkward to do it. You would understand if you like played it for a bit. But after you get past these 2 clicks, you get to the second section of this wave, which is way easier than this one. Just once you get here, it's just these clicks is kind of free, this click is kind of free, and so is this click. This part is a bit hard, but the fact that it's 2 consistent clicks makes it kind of easy. And then you get to this timing, which is weird because if you don't use CBF, it's a 240 because of bad alignment. And you can see why I'm saying bad alignment. There's a lot of like space in here and also here. Matter of fact, if you use CBF, this turns into like almost a 2-framer. So it's like the easiest 240 in this level when you're using CBF. So after
Maybe I don't want to play this level.
you're past that wave, you get to this other wave. And this wave right here is one of the easiest waves on the level. It gets extremely consistent. Like players like Silk and Shock have done it multiple times in a row. What makes this wave hard is the fact that it's really awkward. There's a lot of speed changes and like size changes in here. And there's no 2-framers in this part. There's only 3 to 4 framers, but there's a lot of them. So, and for example, like this one up here, this click up here is a 3-framer, I think almost 2-framer, and it's probably the worst click of this wave. And after you get to this cube click, you get to this UFO, which is probably the worst part on the level. You start off with this corridor right here where you have to spam, and
Are we not going to talk about the fact that
after
Dube's
this
copy is
corridor
called
over,
Aeternus?
you gotta hit these orbs in a very
sorry to talk
specific
about.
way, or you're gonna die. This UFO is very setup based, and what makes it really bad is that based on how you hit some of the orb, you're just not gonna be able to pass this click. Mostly this click, because the black orb is the worst click of the level, in my opinion. You start off with this blue orb, which you gotta click extremely late, and this click is kind of weird. It's never gotten like really consistent for me.
The pink wave trail kind of looks like freaking the Hubba Bubba, like the stick that rolls up. Kind of want to eat it. Anyway, what's this video about again?
And then you get to this green orb, which is a little bit more consistent, but I think it's harder. Or you gotta click it really late, otherwise you're gonna hit this spike right here. But if you click it too late, you're gonna hit this saw blade up here, which is pretty annoying. And then you get to the black orb, which I've said it's the worst click in the level. And how it works, if you click it too early, you're gonna get to like up here in a way so you're not gonna be able to clear the gap without dying. Because
just click it at the right time then.
If you get too high, you're gonna click and just it's gonna be impossible to like set up the entire rest of the UFO. So that's what happens when you go early. But if you go too late, you're just gonna be too low to even clear this gap right here. But then you get to this part, which is the second part of the UFO, and it's not that hard compared to the first part. It gets pretty consistent. And once you're done with this UFO, you get to this ship. You start with this first section, which it gets really consistent. It's a bit weird, but
imagine if I watched this video and then I booted up Aeternus and I just first tried it.
It's not too hard. And then you do this yellow orb timing, and after doing this yellow orb.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, and then I do that. Oh, yeah, and this. Oh, and then that. Oh, and this click is that. Oh, okay, cool. I get it. Blah, blah, blah.
You get to this part, which is
a
really hard part, and also weird part. And I still struggle with this, even though I've put like some time into it. And this part is also kind of weird because just the transition into it, and also the fact that it's 2-1 ship physics is kind of.
Why not do a practice run after? I got a doctor's appointment.
Heavy, so it makes it a bit hard, and it's also a completely bad transition. And once you're out of there, you're at the break part. I think this is probably one of the easiest parts of the level, if not the easiest. You get to this cube right here. It's not that bad. This click is a buffer.
Yeah, Bloodbath appointment is more appropriate.
Is probably the worst click.
I don't want to drag Bloodbath anymore.
If this wasn't here, the section would be absolutely free. But this.
Chat, I think we're gonna beat Bloodbath this week. Thoughts?
This is a 2-frame timing pink orb, which you gotta click.
I feel it in the air.
It's not too bad when you're playing from here, but when you're playing from any other star pause, it becomes like genuinely horrible. And then you get to this UFO. And this UFO is.
Let's go, chat.
It's not too awful, but it's also like I don't really like it. You gotta spam here or do like 4 clicks or 3 or whatever you want to do. And then there's this blue orb timing.
Now we being Aeternus this week? Alright.
Just a pretty hard timing. And then there's this click, this double click, you gotta click here and then click here again. And this first click is a 2-framer. And after you pass this part, which is the like first hard.
This is like 20% of the level. And it's so complicated. We're still here.
First half of the course.
Is this only like 22 to 44 or something?
Which is the hardest, and the second half is kind of easy. And this first straight fly isn't too bad. It's a bit weird, but it gets consistent. What makes this ship part really bad is the fact that there's this blue portal over here. You gotta stop holding a little bit before the blue portal, and then you gotta start holding as soon as possible so you're able to clear this spike and like not die to this spike in the
It's kind of like club step.
saw blade. The fact that you gotta wiggle like this and then go up here and like you have to clear this gap, which is really difficult, makes it like really weird to learn and to get consistent at. It's not really an easy part.
And then here we have the swing. This is one of the
42 to 61. Hit it up.
harder parts in the level, and it has a ball copter and a cube copter. The cube copter is a little bit easier than the ball copter, but they're both pretty hard. The main hard thing in the ball copter is this corridor and this click. This corridor, you can do it in a few ways. Most people do 3 clicks, and that usually leads to this click being a 1 frame, which kind of sucks. And then this click is also really hard, and it can easily become a 1 frame or even impossible if you mess this one up even slightly. For the cube copter, the main hard things are this click right here that makes you go down is really awkward. It's hard to visualize, and this corridor is really bad. And then this last click is a 2 frame, and it's really hard, but it does get somewhat consistent because you have a nice setup for it. And then 47 to 53 is kind of the break part. There's nothing super stupid in here, but it does have a lot of 3 frames. This yellow orb is kind of tricky because it's hard to line up. Usually it's a 3 frame, but if you get unlucky with the alignment out of this UFO, it can be a 2 frame. But that doesn't matter because you're using CBF for this, right? This ball is really, really awkward. It has a pretty unnatural click pattern, and both this and this click are 3 frames, so it's fairly inconsistent, even though it's not that hard. And then we get to the ship, and this is the hardest ship in the entire level, for one reason we'll get to in a minute.
They've said this is a harder part of the level for every single part. I was thinking the same thing.
First click isn't too bad. It is kind of awkward though, and it's based off when you hit this yellow orb. And then this straight
Take a shot every time they say this part's kind of awkward.
line looks really scary, but if you have the CPS to do 2 clicks here instead of just 1 and then hit the yellow orb, it's not too bad. It gets pretty consistent even though it's really, really fast. This yellow orb into the pink orb is very setup based, and you have to time the releases on both of these, so that's kind of annoying, but it does get
time my
consistent
release, chat.
if you practice the part enough. And then we get to this click, 55%.
Sorry, I was yawning.
This is the hardest click in the entire level for 2 reasons. One, it is a 360 hertz frame perfect in 2.1, which means that it does
Maybe they're glazing its difficulty. What? Dude, imagine if it was just like the most gate kept secret. Every single, like, Aeternus has just been played up so much that, like, and just no one bothers to actually load up the level. So, like, literally you could load it up and it's just like freaking sunshine difficulty. And you're like, wait, oh my God, the LARP is unmatched.
get buffed when you're using CBF. And 2, it's ship, and it's at 4 times speed. You have to click like here. There's no visual cue for it, so it's basically
Obviously, that's not the case. I was just making a silly little hypothetical scenario. Please don't get angry. I'm saying, like, what if? I'm not saying that is.
blind. This click is so bad that we nicknamed it the Humbler. And then even after you pass the Humbler, you still have this absolutely despicable street fly, which is so unbelievably RNG. It feels like you die to air half the time. It's so bad that many people find it even more inconsistent than the Humbler. And then we have the Wave, and as you probably know already, this is the hardest part in the entire level. It is about 2.5 seconds
It's definitely a bit, right? It's definitely a bit
long, and it has 27 frame perfects on 60 and 10
They definitely all coordinated to say this is the hardest part of the entire level on like one section of the part that they present on
120. And that means that every single click and release in this part is frame perfect, except for one being this click, as it's more open. And the main hard things in this wave are these 2 clicks are really hard, especially when playing from further back. This little segment here with the release, this micro click, and then this really awkward click pattern here is really, really hard. It's probably the hardest part of the wave. This club step monster is thankfully pretty easy. These are all 5 frames most of the time. But this first click into it is pretty awkward because the hitboxes here are weird.
I want to see a 15-minute long top 1 at some point. I don't, bro.
To say the least.
Sounds miserable.
This is fine. And then these last few gaps are really, really hard. They're some of the tightest in the whole wave. Here, if we go into the level, like, there's no room here. And then you have to time the releases on both of these orbs, which sucks. And then here, you can see just how tight this click is. There's no room for error. This is hard on speed hack. It looks like you're touching the hitbox, but you aren't. It's so stupid. And then here's the straight fly. There's just random hitboxes sticking out that are so easy to die to. Like this saw, this spike. It's so bad. It's probably the single most unfun part in the entire level. And then we get to the wave. You can see here just how tight these gaps are. Like, it's ridiculous. And this is all on 4 times speed too, so it's insanely high CPS. Like, this part will destroy your hand unless you have really good stamina. If we go to full speed. Anyways, this wave...
I'm going back on track, dude. I don't want to do this high level shit anymore.
This single wave alone, by itself, is...
We've strayed so far from God.
Bloodlust difficulty. That's the general consensus among the people who have done it. Which is absurd, considering, again, this part is 2.5 seconds long. That's almost a top 200 crammed into 2 seconds. And then 53 to 61, the current world record by me, is around Sakupin Circles difficulty, just because you have the most inconsistent part in the entire level being this ship, followed by the hardest part in the entire level, raw gameplay-wise, being this wave. And it's just a terrible combination of parts. And this wave gets so much harder when you're playing from further back, too. It's not nice. It's just ridiculous.
Alright, hello, this is Shock on the 60 to 80 run, and I will say this is honestly the easiest part in the level, but even...
I'm not gonna lie either, like, this is purely a vibes thing. Just hearing how each of them talk and just feeling the vibes from their voice, these guys are all such harder core gamers than me. Like, I'm a gamer. I can, like, almost smell how sweaty these guys are in the most respectful way. You can tell these guys are, like, purebred gamers. I might be a bit out of my element here.
Though it is the easiest part in the level, do not assume it's easy. This cube, it's really not that bad.
I might be a bit out of my element.
This ship, however, is really annoying to play because depending on how you do this last click, this click
They're in there, bro. They're in the thick of it.
pattern changes, and it's really inconsistent. This part is really consistent when you play from it, but when you play from anywhere before, it just becomes impossible because of this.
If I played this shit, bro, how would I be able to think of funny stuff to say to chat and talk to chat? It would be impossible.
Like right here, this like whole section right here, and up.
You mean that they know what they're talking about? That, but also, like, I am now more intimidated by this level because of the way that these hardcore gamers are talking about it. When it's just someone in your Twitch chat, it means nothing. But the way that, like, you can tell these guys have, like, dedicated their lives to this level, I am now scared of this level.
Up until about here is really difficult, and then the difficulty drops down again once you're at about 72. This wave looks bad, but it gets consistent. Going more thoroughly through the parts, these 2 clicks are really consistent. This click, the reason this click's so hard is you have to kind of like click it late, but it's also really hard to shoot it because there's 2 speed portals here, so it messes up the timing, messes up your perspective on the click. So it's really easy to die here. Since it's still kind of like from this speed portal change, this click's hard too. This click looks hard, but it really does get consistent. and so are these two. This click is kind of just like a randomized difficulty. Really easy, sometimes it can be really bad. This click, most of the time, is fine, and then these 4 clicks are auto. This ship, you can do 2 quick patterns. Coming to this ship part, this also has multiple click patterns. The reason this ship is hard, kind of obvious. It's 4x speed, and you're coming from a ball into this, so it's kind of hard to transition into it.
Exactly. It's baby steps, chat. We got to beat Bloodbath, then we got to beat Sonic Wave, then we got to beat Slaughterhouse, and then we can consider Aeternus.
And you got to do this yellow work through these 2 terrible gaps. We've got to go through here, which these aren't that bad, I'll be honest. The second half of this ship's not hard. Sometimes you can die to this part right here if you click really early.
Reverse order would be better. Bro, we literally just watched a video the other day that talked about how the current like top 20, each step is like a jump in difficulty. Look, I love being delusional. Let's not LARP this too much, bro.
But that mostly doesn't happen. These clicks are kind of hard because if you can't tell, these spikes are like ever so slightly moved down, like 2 spaces or something, like 3.5. Wait, let me see what the hitbox is. It's about 1/8 of a block, so that's like, I don't even know. And then this spike right here, it's moved a little bit less up, but it still is moved. This release isn't the worst. You can die to it. He's not. Actually, you can't die to it. I don't die to it often. This click is honestly really hard. This slope makes it so
Chat, this click is really hard.
much more difficult than you'd think. I die here a lot. What you have to do is you have to click in between here, which isn't bad, but then this release is really like hard to do. This mini wave itself is not hard, but you
Dude, that looks like deadlock.
can very easily die to this.
That literally looks like deadlock.
For example, I've died to this mini wave 6 times from 60, and then the difficulty is gonna obviously drop down. This click isn't bad, believe it or not. This UFO is like really consistent because whoever made this part is actually smart and put this to center.
It's 4x speed. So am I when I'm running on the freaking field, bro. They can't catch
The
me.
UFO every time. This UFO is gets really consistent. Although these 2 clicks can be hard to do sometimes. This click right here is pretty hard. It can get consistent, but when you're first learning to do it, this click is going to be the bane of your existence. Since there's pink orbs here, you have to do a spam on this UFO, and then when you drop down here, you have to do 1 click
You run? No, not actually. I walked the mile in school.
through this for the entire thing. Then we get to this click, not too bad. This trade flag's not too bad. And this click looks harder than it is.
One time to get out of an awkward social interaction, this one guy, it was like in college, and he was like, hey, did you used to run track in high school? And I just like, it was one of those times where like I wasn't ready for the social interaction, so I just lied. I was just like, yeah. And he was like, oh, I could tell from your calves. And I was like, why were you looking at my calves? Okay.
It gets really consistent. This
But he didn't press me on it, so mission succeeded.
click right here is a buffer. And then this wave gets really consistent, like I said, but it is hard when you're first learning it. What you have to do is go down here and then here, up through that, and then go through this gap right here. And then finally the last click is this one, which is really auto. Funny little thing I want to add right here is you can actually go through this bottom route. I don't know if you know that. But yeah, that doesn't matter.
No, it
I'd
wasn't.
say around doing
But
this full
someone
part would be
of a
probably
similar vein.
around main list, but not too high main list. Like maybe like solar flare or something. I have 61 to 77, so I am really close to doing this full part.
I already forgot the first half of the video. Yeah. I'm overwhelmed.
So I guess I'm the closest one to knowing the real difficulty of this part, but yeah, I don't know.
Alright, so I have the easiest part, I'd say, out of all of these. So I'm going to start with these 2 clicks. These, in my opinion, really suck. Let me just...
Could you remind me which clicks are hard? Yes. So my current takeaway from this video is that most of the clicks are pretty hard in this level. Now, we still have a frame counter to see, so we can't fully come to that conclusion yet, but I do believe it's most of them. Hope that helps.
Go in. So... yeah, that was like the main difficulty, I'd say, of 79 to 100, outside of the waves, obviously. Now, I mean, yeah, I mean, you could get consistent on this. I mean, it is pretty consistent sometimes. At least for me, I'm going based off of my experience. And for this UFO, I mean, at first it's scary, right? I used to do like
Aeternus is never getting beat. Bro, you're looking at the verifier. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing that stands between me and beating this level is the skill gap. Once I get better at the game, bro, it's night and day.
2 clicks here because for some reason I just cannot like I'm doing the normal click pattern now and it's way more consistent. Yeah, that's basically it for that part. It's nothing much to say or random about it. And for this part, this is 82.
Yeah, just let me lock in.
Sometimes you can choke here, but it depends where you're playing from.
Y'all think that Doggy spending 2 years on Grief's crazy? Wait until I spend 5 years on this.
So let's say I'm playing from 69.
Do I want to do that? I probably do need to start a family at some point, right?
I've died here many times, especially at this click, the UFO click before the cube, and it's just really annoying. And then this ship. Okay, this is one of the harder parts as well. Obviously, the hitboxes might not look that bad, but
50 years? Nah, that's LARP.
if I just like, let me just go in here quick. All right, so I'm pretty consistent at it, but it's pretty transition based, so that's why I die. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure it is the green orb that causes most issues here. So yeah, there you go. See, I went too far down. Yeah. And then as for this cube, the main difficulty is just this click. I mean, it's consistent. Kind of annoying sometimes, but it's alright. And then as for this, sometimes I'll die here, sometimes
Aeternus could low-key get beat in 2030. That's a time traveler, chat.
I won't. I don't know what it is about this, but it's easy, but it's like weird. So, the 86 wave here,
Dude, how good at this game am I going to be 4 years from now?
The more difficult part, I would say, is this.
Will I finally be able to beat Cataclysm?
So, if I go ahead and, like... Yeah, I can't pass it with hitboxes on soccer. But yeah, it's kind of high CPS.
That's a stretch.
I mean, once you get it down, it's sometimes consistent. I don't know, a lot of things in this part is just kind of based off of how you are that day. And then we go over here.
You could be really good if you play as much as you do right now. Hey, stick around, chat. Let's see what we can get done together.
This is way easier than the first half of this wave. Most people don't really die here, unless you're like choking because of
Look, I've only been playing the game for 8 months, bro. We got a long ways ahead of us.
Or something. But this is way easier than the first half. And then nothing.
I wasn't there. Did you win that GeoGuessr tourney? No, but we lost to Zeronium round 1, and Zeronium got second place out of the whole thing. So we lost to the guy who lost to Purell. And it was close, bro. It was close. Can't even be mad.
Much to say about here. I mean, sometimes this click sucks ass, but it's alright. And then here, for me, it's pretty consistent. I'll play from it here. Yeah. That wave, I mean, it's one of the harder ones, but it's definitely one of the most consistent. Like, way more consistent than 86 wave. This here, I mean, it takes a while to learn it and get it down. As for the mini wave, this is the hardest part of the last wave. I don't really know how to explain it.
That's the hardest part, chat.
Get consistent at it.
That's the hardest part.
At first, it's really, really fucking bad. The last ship now. Oh, you can do this in a lot of different ways. So I'll show you the way I do it. Alright, that's enough. I clearly can't do it. Yeah, a lot of people do it in the ways that they like. So for one, let's say like Shock, for example, he'll do like a lot of list clicks in the corridor. As for me, I like to click a lot because it feels like I have more control over myself. It's a bit awkward with nerves.
I want to have control.
But, I mean, it's alright. And then as for this last
I want a perfect
it's
body.
so I think that's really all you have to say.
I want a perfect soul. I want you to know this. Oh, sorry. We're doing the friend counter now, finally, chat. Get ready. Strap in. Over under 10,000 attempts for us, chat. Yeah, it depends on my mood. Depends on the day. Holy shit, bro. What the fuck is that level? Oh my god. Wait, we're doing it again? What happened? Oh. Oh, I missed this. Thinking Space 2, Heliopolis, Grief. Okay. And Society. Are we doing another frame counter? I'm confused. Chat, why are we doing this again? Oh, showing the hitboxes? Okay. Two in a row? Go Teej. Yeah, dude. Yeah! Let's fucking go! Was that Aura? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I felt like I was there. I felt like I was there. Woo! This is a scary level. This is a scary level. I ain't reading all this, bro. I ain't reading all this. Well, that was crazy. Dude, no one told me that Aeternus is actually hard, bro. How am I supposed to verify this? All right, well, we'll get around to it. Guys, link in the description, join the Discord, go to the React to This Teach channel, drop videos you want me to react to. This is where a video like this was shared and people upvoted it. That's how I knew that you guys wanted to watch me react to it. I did that. Now you do that to help me, help you, help us. In the meantime, take care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Did you like that? Don't even pretend like you didn't. You made it that far in the video. Well, did you know that I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch and YouTube, and you could catch me live and get to be a part of the experience when it happens? Also, if you don't care about that, or otherwise you want to see more of the video that you just watched, link in the description to watch the full VOD. Do that, please. I have a black eye because I play basketball sometimes. Bye. Oh.